Imagine a world without sound, without movement, yet pulsing with an unstoppable life force. Before you take your next breath, remember this: that air was gifted to you by a leaf somewhere in the darkness, working silently just for you. Tonight, we do not just look at nature, we become it. We will sink our roots deep into the soil of history and rise with the ancient sap of the earth. Let go of the human world and step into the eternal kingdom of plants. Long before the first footstep fell upon the soil, long before the first bird sang into the dawn, and long before the great forests of the American West would rise to touch the clouds, there was only the stone and the silence. Imagine a world stripped of its softness, a planet of jagged rock and gray dust, where the wind howled across empty continents with no leaves to rustle and no branches to slow its path. This was the Earth in its infancy, a barren and desolate sphere, drifting through the cold velvet of space, waiting for a miracle, waiting for the green touch that would change everything. It is hard for us to conceive of such emptiness now, as you lie there in the comfort of your bed, surrounded by the invisible embrace of the air. But there was a time when the air itself was different, harsh and unbreathable, a time when the sky was not the gentle blue you know, but a hazy and alien orange, thick with heavy gases that held the heat of the sun like a blanket. Yet within this vast and rocky silence, something was stirring. Something powerful and patient was beginning to wake up in the shallow, warm waters of the primordial oceans. This is the story of the first breath, the story of the green genesis, and the beginning of the long and quiet reign of the plants. If you were to travel back 500 million years, you would stand on the edge of a great gray shore and look out over an endless sea. The water would be the only thing moving, rhythmic and eternal, lapping against the lifeless granite. But if you looked closer, down into the microscopic world of the waves, you would see the spark of a revolution. There, floating in the sunlit layers of the water, were the ancestors of every tree and flower you have ever seen. Simple, single-celled algae, tiny specks of life that had discovered the greatest secret in the universe. They had learned how to eat the light. Imagine that power, the ability to take the raw, fiery energy of the sun and turn it into life, to turn it into sugar, to turn it into the very building blocks of existence. This was the first act of magic on our planet, the moment when the sun and the earth truly began to dance together. And as these tiny organisms multiplied, they began to do something else, something that would shape the destiny of every living creature to come. They began to breathe, but not like you and I breathe. They breathed in the heavy carbon of the ancient atmosphere and breathed out a waste product, a gas they did not need, a gas that was new to the world: oxygen. For millions of years, this process continued in the silence of the deep time. Day after day, century after century, the invisible legions of the green algae worked tirelessly, bubbling their precious gift into the water, saturating the oceans until they could hold no more. And then, slowly, the gas began to escape into the air. Imagine standing on that ancient shore and feeling the first drift of fresh air, the first molecules of oxygen mixing with the harsh winds. It was the planet taking its first deep breath, preparing the cradle for the life that was to follow. But the plants were not content to stay in the water. The spirit of the green was ambitious. It sought the land. It sought the vast, empty continents of rock that sat baking under the sun. And so began the great invasion, the slow and steady march of the mosses and the liverworts, the pioneers of the plant kingdom. They were not tall like the redwoods or majestic like the oaks. They were humble, low-growing carpets of green that clung to the damp shadows of rocks, holding on for dear life against the dry wind. Visualize this transformation as if you were watching a time-lapse film of the earth, seeing millions of years pass in the blink of an eye, seeing the gray and brown of the rocky earth slowly being painted over with a wash of vibrant emerald. This was not a battle fought with weapons or noise. It was a battle of patience, a conquest of silence. The mosses crept over the stone, inch by inch, their tiny root-like structures dissolving the rock, breaking it down, crumbling the mountains into sand. And in doing so, they created the first soil. They were the architects of the ground we walk on, preparing the earth, softening the hard edges of the world, making it ready for the roots of the future. Can you feel the immense power of that softness, the strength it takes to turn a rock into a garden? It is the same strength that resides in every leaf outside your window tonight, a quiet, unstoppable force that asks for nothing but light and water and gives everything in return. As the green carpet spread across the continents, the sky began to change. The oxygen levels rose, and the hazy, alien atmosphere cleared, revealing the brilliant crystal blue that we know today. The sun shone down brighter and clearer, feeding the expanding empire of plants. This was the time when the earth truly became alive, when the feedback loop of life and air was established, a loop that continues to this very moment as you breathe in and out. Think of the connection you have right now with that ancient history. The oxygen entering your lungs at this second was crafted by the descendants of those first mosses and algae. You are breathing the legacy of 500 million years of labor, a gift passed down through the ages, from leaf to leaf, from era to era, arriving at your bedside tonight to comfort you and keep you safe. The world of the green Genesis was a world of profound peace. There were no animals yet to graze on the moss, no insects to buzz in the air, only the sound of the wind moving over the green earth and the sound of the waves crashing on the shore. It was a garden of solitude, a temple of pure life force. Imagine resting in that soft, ancient moss, feeling the coolness of the primitive earth beneath you, feeling the moisture in the air, rich and clean. There is nothing you need to do here, no place you need to be. You are simply witnessing the miracle of creation, the moment when the barren rock decided to become a home. The plants were the first ones to make this place habitable. They are the hosts of this planet, and we are their guests. And in this ancient time, they reigned supreme, covering the wet lowlands, surrounding the lakes, turning the streams into corridors of life. They were laying the foundation for the forests of the future, dreaming of the day when they would rise up as trees. But for now, they were content to hug the earth, to be close to the soil, to hold the moisture and the cool shadows. Let your mind drift over this prehistoric landscape, soothing and green, stretching out to the horizon in every direction. There is a deep sense of security here, a knowledge that the earth is capable of healing itself, capable of growing life out of nothing, capable of turning the harshest stone into the softest bed. The green Genesis was the earth's promise to the future, a vow that life would find a way, that the gray would always yield to the green, and that the breath would never fail. As you lie in the darkness now, let that promise settle into your bones. You are held by a planet that knows how to sustain you. You are watched over by the silent sentinels of the plant world, the ancient mosses, the ferns, the trees, all of them connected in an unbroken chain of life that goes back to that first moment in the water, that first spark of photosynthesis, that first miraculous breath. Sleep now, safe in the knowledge that the work is done, the atmosphere is created, the garden is planted, and the air is full. The plants are keeping the watch. They have been keeping it for 500 million years, and they will keep it through the night, breathing for you, living for you, turning the light into life so that you can rest, so that you can drift away into the green, into the quiet, into the deep and ancient sleep of the earth.
As the millions of years drifted by like clouds across the face of the moon, the earth grew ambitious. The low carpet of moss and the creeping vines were no longer enough to satisfy the hunger of the soil. The planet wanted to rise. It wanted to stretch its green arms upward to touch the heavy mists of the sky. And so began the Carboniferous period, a time of giants, a time when the world was turned into one vast and breathing cathedral of vegetation. Imagine stepping out of the time machine into this era, into the humid embrace of a world that is effectively one endless swamp, stretching from the current shores of Pennsylvania across to the heartland of Illinois and down to the deep south. But this is not the world you know. There are no oaks, no maples, no pines. Instead, you are standing in a forest of aliens, towering club mosses that have grown into the size of skyscrapers, great scale trees with bark patterns that look like geometric snakeskin spiraling up 100 feet into the air, and giant horsetails that stand like green bamboo pillars holding up the roof of the world. The air here is different. It is heavy and thick, richer in oxygen than at any other time in history. And as you breathe it in, you can feel a strange and pleasant heaviness settling into your chest, a feeling of hyper-oxygenated calm that slows your heart and quiets your mind. This is the architecture of silence, a kingdom ruled entirely by plants. There are no birds to call out the morning, no squirrels to chatter in the branches, no wolves to howl at the moon. There is only the sound of the green, the deep and rhythmic dripping of water falling from the high canopy to the fern-covered floor, the creaking of massive trunks swaying in the slow wind, and the soft rustle of leaves that are larger than a human being. It is a silence so profound that it feels like a physical weight, a blanket of peace that wraps around you and muffles every worry you have ever known. The humidity is constant, a warm and enveloping mist that blurs the distance and softens the light. The sun does not strike the ground here. It is filtered through layer after layer of translucent green, creating a twilight world of eternal afternoon, a place where time seems to stop completely, where there is no rush, no deadline, only the slow and steady pulse of growth. You are walking on a floor of spongy peat, a thick mat of decaying plant matter that has been building up for thousands of years. Every step is soft, cushioned by the history of the forest, and beneath your feet, something miraculous is happening. This deep layer of muck, this graveyard of giant ferns and fallen trees, is being slowly compressed. The earth is taking the sunlight that these plants captured, the summer days of 300 million years ago, and burying them deep within its chest, locking them away in the dark to become coal, to become the energy that lights our cities and warms our homes today. Think of that connection as you lie in your bed. The warmth you feel in your home on a winter night is the ghost of this forest. It is the release of this ancient sunlight that was stored away in the silence of the Carboniferous swamps. You are resting in the legacy of these giant plants, supported by their work, held by their ancient patience.
In this world of giants, the dragonflies are the size of hawks, gliding silently through the humid air on wings that shimmer like stained glass. They do not buzz or bite. They simply drift like quiet sentinels of the swamp, watching over the stillness. The ferns here are not the small potted plants you know. They are tree ferns, massive umbrellas of lace that unfurl with a slow and deliberate grace, creating shaded corridors where the air is cool and still. Imagine finding a dry spot at the base of a great scale tree, its bark rough and patterned against your back, and sitting down to rest. The air is so rich, so full of life, that every breath feels like a meal, feeding your blood, making your limbs feel heavy and relaxed. The density of the forest blocks out the wind, creating a pocket of absolute stillness, a sanctuary where the only movement is the slow drift of a spore falling through a shaft of light, dancing like dust in a sunbeam before settling into the dark water. This is a world of water as much as it is a world of wood. The forest grows out of black, still pools that act like mirrors, reflecting the towering canopy above. Looking into the water, you see a perfect inverted world, a second forest growing downwards into the dark, blurring the line between reality and dream. The water is calm, disturbed only by the occasional ripple of a falling leaf, sending slow concentric rings out toward the banks, hypnotizing you with their perfect geometry. The smell of the air is earthy and sweet, the scent of wet wood and crushed leaves, a primal aroma that speaks to the deepest part of your brain, telling you that you are safe, that you are hidden, that you are part of the Earth's great cycle. There is no urgency here. The plants are in no hurry. They grow with a slow determination, adding ring upon ring to their trunks, inching closer to the sun with every passing year. And when they fall slowly, crashing into the swamp with a muffled thud that is quickly swallowed by the moss, returning their bodies to the mud to become part of the future. As the sun begins to set over the carboniferous swamp, the green twilight deepens into a rich indigo. The mists rise up from the water, glowing softly in the fading light, wrapping the trunks of the trees in a ghostly embrace. The silence deepens, becoming even more absolute, even more commanding. The giant plants seem to lean in, watching over the sleeping world, their leaves drooping slightly in the cool evening air, entering their own state of rest. This is a sleep that has lasted for eons, a slumber preserved in the strata of the earth. And you are invited to join it, to let your own consciousness sink down like a stone into the deep, dark waters of the swamp, to let yourself be buried under the comforting weight of millions of years of green, to feel the pressure of the world lifting off your shoulders and being replaced by the supportive pressure of the earth. There is a profound comfort in knowing that the earth has done this before, that it has flourished without us, that it has created majesty and power in the dark and the quiet. The energy of these forests is not gone. It is simply sleeping, waiting, just as you are waiting for sleep now. Think of your body as a landscape, your breath as the wind moving through the ferns, your heart as the slow rhythm of the swamp water. You are heavy, you are ancient, you are rooted. The frantic pace of the modern world has no place here. In the Carboniferous, there is only the long now, the eternal present moment where a tree takes 100 years to grow and 1,000 years to turn to stone. Let that slowness seep into your muscles. Let it travel down your spine, relaxing every knot of tension, smoothing out every worry. You are solid like the trunk of the scale tree. You are still like the black water. You are peaceful like the mist. The darkness of the ancient forest is not scary. It is a velvet darkness, a protective shell. The canopy above is so thick that it blocks out the stars, leaving you in a warm cocoon of shadow. You are safe here, in the cradle of the coal age, nestled in the raw material of creation, listening to the silence that ruled the world for 60 million years. A silence that is not empty, but full of potential, full of dreams, full of the green energy that binds all things together. Drift deeper into this primeval grove, walk further into the mist until the shapes of the trees blur and fade, until there is nothing left but the feeling of the humid air and the smell of the earth. You are becoming part of the landscape, sinking into the peat, becoming a fossil of yourself, perfectly preserved in a state of deep and dreamless rest. The first forests were the lungs of the world, but they were also its blanket. They covered the rocky continents with warmth and softness, and tonight they cover you. Imagine the giant fronds of a prehistoric fern gently curling over you, shielding you from the waking world, creating a private space where only you and the silence exist. The rhythm of the dripping water slows down, drip, pause, drip, pause, matching the slowing rhythm of your brain waves, guiding you down the staircase of sleep, step by step, deeper into the architecture of silence. The foundation of the earth is holding you up. The history of the planet is cradling you, and the ancient plants are standing guard, silent and tall, ensuring that your rest is unbroken, that your sleep is as deep and rich as the seams of coal beneath the mountains. Absolute stillness, absolute peace, absolute green.
Now we descend. We leave the dappled sunlight of the canopy and the rustling leaves behind. We let our awareness sink down past the trunks of the great trees, past the carpet of moss and fallen needles, and we enter the cool and dark velvet of the underground. This is a world that few ever truly see, a world of eternal night and crushing pressure. Yet it is here, in the damp silence of the soil, that the true history of the earth is written. This is the domain of the root, the hidden engine that drives the planet. Imagine yourself sinking into the soft earth, weightless and formless, drifting down into the complex architecture that lies beneath our feet. It is a city of millions of tunnels, a labyrinth of pale and twisting fibers that stretch out in every direction, holding the world together. We often think of plants as the things we see above the ground, the flowers that bloom and the branches that wave in the wind, but that is only half the story, perhaps even less. For the true power of the plant, the source of its strength and its intelligence, lies buried in the dark, clutching the bedrock with a grip that can withstand hurricanes. Think of the patience required to be a root, to exist in the dark and push blindly forward, searching for water, searching for nutrients, searching for a foothold in the stone. Millions of years ago, before there was soil as we know it, the first roots began a silent war against the rock. They were the original sculptors of the continents. Slowly, over eons, these delicate white fingers found microscopic cracks in the granite and the basalt, and with the hydraulic pressure of growing cells, they pushed, they expanded, they shattered the stone. Imagine the sheer power of that slow-motion explosion,
the force of life itself, breaking the bones of the earth to create a home. This process created the soil that feeds us today. Every handful of dirt in the American Midwest, every stretch of fertile ground in the Mississippi Valley is the result of this ancient and invisible labor. The roots are the anchors of our world. They are the reason the hills do not wash away in the rain. They are the reason the riverbanks hold their shape. They are the invisible hands that cup the soil and keep it safe, holding the land in place so that life can flourish. But there is something even more miraculous happening down here in the dark, something that scientists are only just beginning to understand, and it changes everything we know about solitude and connection. The forest is not a collection of isolated trees fighting for survival. It is a community. It is a family. And the roots are the nerves that connect them all. Stretching out between the trees are miles upon miles of microscopic fungal threads, a vast and white web that links root to root, tree to tree, creating a network that spans entire continents. This is the Wood Wide Web, the original internet, a communication system that existed hundreds of millions of years before humans ever laid a telegraph cable or built a server. Through these fungal connections, the trees can talk to one another. They can send chemical signals pulsing through the dark, electrical impulses that carry messages of warning and messages of love. If a tree on the edge of the forest is attacked by beetles, it sends a signal through the roots, a silent scream that travels through the web to its neighbors, warning them to raise their defenses, to change the chemistry of their leaves, to prepare for the danger. This underground brain is compassionate.
It is a system of care that rivals the complexities of human society. The great mother trees, the oldest and largest in the forest, use this network to nurse their young, pumping sugar and carbon down through their deep roots and out into the fungal web, feeding the tiny saplings growing in the shadows that cannot yet reach the sun. Imagine the tenderness of that act, a giant redwood or an ancient oak sharing its own life force with the next generation, sending energy flowing through the cool earth like blood pumping through a vein. Even trees of different species help one another, the birch sending food to the fir in the summer, and the fir returning the favor in the winter when the birch has lost its leaves. It is a socialist utopia of green, a place where resources are shared, where the weak are supported by the strong, and where no one truly stands alone. As you lie in your bed tonight, let this knowledge settle over you like a warm blanket, the knowledge that connection is the natural state of the world, that even in the silence and the dark, there is communication, there is support, there is a holding. Visualize the electrical pulses moving through the forest floor beneath you, glowing softly in your mind's eye like a map of a city at night. These are the thoughts of the planet, slow and deep and ancient thoughts that take centuries to form. The earth is thinking, but it does not think in words or hurried sentences. It thinks in seasons. It thinks in water tables. It thinks in the slow migration of minerals. To connect with this root mind is to slow your own mind down to the speed of a tree, to let go of the frantic pace of human time and enter the geological time of the root. Here in the underground, there is no day and no night. There is only the eternal present, the constant feeling of the earth pressing against you, grounding you, stabilizing you. Think of your own feet, your own legs, feeling heavy and relaxed. Imagine that you too are growing roots, invisible threads of energy extending from the soles of your feet down through the floor, down through the foundation of the building, deep into the soil below.
You are tapping into the wood wide web, plugging yourself into the battery of the planet, feeling the stability of the bedrock. You are no longer a floating, anxious mind. You are a rooted being, connected to the same source that feeds the sequoias and the pines. Feel the security of that connection, the sensation of being held in place by a force much larger than yourself. The roots do not worry about the storm raging above. They do not worry about the cold wind or the scorching sun. They are safe in the deep, insulated by the earth, protected by the soil. And so are you. The chaos of the surface world cannot reach you here. The noise of the day is muffled by layers of earth, absorbed by the damp peat and the clay. You are resting in the basement of history, in the quietest room of the world's house. This system is the hidden brain of the planet, regulating the atmosphere, storing the carbon, managing the water. It is a machine of infinite complexity that runs on silence. It asks for no recognition, it seeks no applause, it simply works, day and night, keeping the biosphere alive. Think of the humility of the root, content to stay in the dark so that the leaves can have the light.
Content to be ugly and twisted so that the flowers can be beautiful. It is the ultimate act of service. And as you drift deeper into sleep, you can entrust yourself to this system. You can trust that the world is being taken care of, that the trees are talking to each other, organizing the forest, balancing the equation of life while you sleep. You do not need to hold the world on your shoulders. The roots are already holding it for you. They have held it for 400 million years, and they will hold it for another 400 million. You can let go. The darkness of the underground is not an empty darkness. It is a pregnant darkness, full of potential, full of the energy of growth. Every seed that falls into the soil enters this network, is greeted by the fungal threads, is plugged into the system, and is told that it belongs. You belong here too, on this earth, part of this great cycle of breath and growth and rest. Let your breathing align with the slow pulse of the root systems, a rhythm that is slower than a heartbeat, slower than a tide, the rhythm of sap rising and falling, sticky and sweet and slow, moving with a glacial patience that creates deep and restorative rest. The deeper you go into the earth, the heavier your eyelids become. The soil is pulling you down, not with force, but with gravity, with the gentle attraction of home, down into the burrow, down into the den, down where it is warm and safe and still. We often look up at the stars to feel a sense of wonder, but tonight we look down, we look inward. We look at the intricate universe beneath the grass, a universe of chemical signals and nutrient highways, a universe where competition is replaced by cooperation, where the survival of the fittest is replaced by the survival of the connected. Let that wisdom seep into your dreams, the wisdom of the community, the wisdom of the shared burden. You are part of a web of life that supports you even when you are unaware of it, just as the fungi support the oak. Unseen hands are holding you. Unseen forces are feeding you. The earth is a cradle, and the roots are the wicker that weaves it together, strong and flexible and enduring. Sleep now, grounded and secure. Let your thoughts dissolve into the network. Let your individual worries fade away as they are absorbed by the vastness of the planetary mind.
You are just one leaf on a tree that has billions of leaves, but you are connected to the trunk, connected to the root, connected to the very heart of the earth. There is nothing to fear in the dark, for the dark is where the life begins. The dark is where the roots do their work. The dark is where the strength is forged. Rest in that strength. Rest in that connection. Drift along the fungal threads. Float through the underground tunnels. Safe, hidden, anchored, and deeply, deeply asleep. The heat of the ancient world eventually began to fade. The fever of the planet broke, and the great humid forests of the Carboniferous slowly gave way to a new reality, a reality of crystal and silence. The wheel of time turned and brought with it the chill of the north, the coming of the ice. Imagine the sky turning a pale and wintry white, the air growing crisp and clean, losing its heavy moisture and becoming sharp and pure. This was the beginning of the Great Slumber, the era when the earth pulled the blanket of snow up to its chin and closed its eyes for a long and restorative rest. We often think of winter as a time of death, but for the kingdom of plants, it is merely a time of waiting, a time of deep and necessary patience. As the glaciers began to creep down from the Arctic, grinding across the continents, carving out the basins of the Great Lakes and shaping the valleys of North America, the plants did not panic. They did not fight the cold. Instead, they embraced it. They understood that in order to survive, they had to let go. They had to slow down. They had to turn their energy inward. Visualize the great deciduous forests that covered the land, the ancestors of the maples and the oaks. As the temperature dropped and the days grew short, they performed a silent act of surrender. They cut off the flow of sap to their branches. They allowed their leaves to turn gold and crimson and brown. And then, with a gentle release, they let them fall, covering the ground in a rustling quilt of copper. This was not an act of defeat, it was an act of brilliance. By dropping their leaves, the trees reduced their need for water. They minimized their exposure to the biting wind, and they withdrew their life force deep into the core of their trunks and down into the insulated safety of their roots. Imagine that feeling of withdrawal, of pulling your energy back from the extremities, back from the busy surface of the world, and centering it deep inside your chest, deep inside your warm and beating heart. The trees stood naked against the gray sky, silent sentinels of the ice, their bark frozen hard as stone. But inside, deep within the wood, a faint pulse remained, a microscopic heartbeat that whispered of life. They were sleeping, just as you are preparing to sleep now, entering a state of suspended animation, where time loses its meaning and the cold cannot touch the fire within. The snow began to fall, flake by flake, million upon million, a relentless and soft accumulation that buried the world in white. The sound of the earth was muffled, the roar of the rivers was silenced by ice, the wind whispered over the drifts, and the silence became absolute. Under this crushing weight of snow, the plants were safe. The snow acted as a massive insulator, a thick duvet that trapped the earth's warmth and kept the soil from freezing too deeply. Down in the dark, beneath the white surface, the seeds lay waiting. This is the true miracle of the plant world, the power of the seed to endure. Imagine a tiny seed, no bigger than a grain of sand, lying in the frozen soil of the tundra, buried under a mile of blue glacial ice. The world above is a frozen wasteland, a place where nothing moves, but inside that hard little shell, the seed is dreaming. It has shut down its metabolism. It has stopped its clock. It has entered a state of dormancy so profound that it is almost indistinguishable from stone. There are seeds that have slept in the permafrost for 30,000 years, buried by squirrels in the Ice Age and forgotten, wading through the rise and fall of civilizations, wading through the shifting of continents, waiting for the precise moment when the warmth would return. Think of that capacity for rest, the ability to pause your life, to trust that the future will come, to trust that you do not need to be active to be alive. The seed holds the blueprint of a flower, the map of a stem, the promise of a bloom, all folded up and tucked away in the dark. It does not worry about the passing centuries. It does not count the days. It simply rests, held in the cold embrace of the earth, preserving its energy, protecting its potential. This is the ultimate form of hibernation, a sleep so deep that it defies time itself. And tonight, you can borrow that power. You can imagine yourself as a seed buried deep in the winter snow, protected by the heavy layers of the night. You are small, you are safe, you are self-contained. Everything you need is already inside you. You do not need to search for anything. You do not need to grow right now. You only need to be. The cold of the Ice Age was a cleansing cold. It slowed the frantic pace of evolution. It gave the planet a chance to breathe, a chance to settle, and in that stillness, the plants perfected the art of conservation. The evergreens, the pines, and the spruces developed waxy needles to hold in their moisture, standing tall and dark against the white landscape, conical shapes designed to shed the heavy snow. They were the guardians of the winter world, holding the green line while the rest of the world slept. Imagine walking through an ancient snowy forest. The air is so still that you can hear the snowflakes landing on your coat. The only color is the deep, dark green of the fir trees and the brilliant white of the snow. The smell is clean and sharp, the scent of pine resin and cold air, a scent that clears your mind and cools your thoughts. There is a coziness here, a feeling of being tucked in. The forest is a shelter. The branches droop low to create little tents of protection, hollows where the wind cannot reach, places of perfect stillness where a weary traveler could curl up and sleep for 1,000 years. This great slumber is not just a part of history, it is a part of your biology, a part of the rhythm of life that your body remembers. We are creatures of the seasons just as much as the oaks and the maples, and there is a time for summer, a time for growth and outward energy, but there is also a time for winter, a time for inward reflection and rest. Tonight is your winter. Tonight is your Ice Age. Let the mental snow fall around you, covering the noise of the day, burying the stress and the lists and the plans under a thick, soft layer of white. Let the world go quiet. Let the landscape of your life become simple and clean. There is nothing to do in the winter but wait. There is no pressure to bloom in the snow. The plants do not try to force a flower in January. They know the wisdom of the cycle. They know that rest is not a waste of time, but a gathering of strength, a refueling of the soul. Feel the heavy, comforting weight of the blankets over you, mimicking the weight of the snow over the sleeping earth. It is a protective weight, a shield against the chaos. You are buried in the most comforting way possible, hidden from view, tucked away in the secret pocket of the night. Your breathing slows down. matching the slow metabolism of the dormant seed. Your heart rate settles into a steady, rhythmic beat, like the slow ticking of a clock in a quiet room. The sap of your thoughts settles down, no longer rushing to the branches, but pooling in the center of your being, calm and still. The energy that you have expended all day returns to you now, gathering in your core, restoring your reserves. Just as the trees pull their sugar down into the roots to survive the freeze, you are pulling your awareness away from your fingers and toes, away from the outside world, and bringing it home to the center, to the warm, dark place where you can simply exist. The Ice Age lasted for thousands of years, a reign of silence that seemed like it would never end, but the plants never lost hope. They knew in their cellular memory that the sun would eventually tilt back, that the ice would melt, and that the water would flow again. But they did not rush the process. They waited with an infinite grace, sleeping through the blizzards, sleeping through the long, dark nights where the aurora borealis danced green and purple over the frozen canopy, watching the lights in the sky through the veil of their dreams. You too can trust the cycle. You can trust that the morning will come, that the sun will rise, and that you will wake up refreshed and renewed. But that is for later. That is for the future. Right now, your only task is to sleep, to surrender to the great slumber, to let the ice preserve you. Drift deeper into this white and silent world. Visualize the landscape of North America under the ice, a vast and peaceful expanse of white, rolling hills covered in snow, frozen rivers winding like ribbons of glass through the valleys. The stillness is profound. It is a silence that heals, a silence that mends the frayed edges of the mind. In this frozen state, nothing decays, nothing is lost. Everything is held in perfect preservation. Your memories, your dreams, your strength, they are all safe, frozen in time, waiting for you to access them when the spring comes. But for now, let them sleep. Let them lie dormant. Let the snow cover them. Feel the cool, crisp air in your lungs, cleansing and pure. Feel the warmth of your own body acting as the hearth, the glowing ember in the center of the winter. You are the seed. You are the tree. You are the earth itself, surviving, resting, enduring, sinking deeper and deeper into the cozy, protective, and eternal embrace of the winter night.
From the frozen sleep of the winter, we move now into the golden warmth of the sun. Imagine lifting your face to the sky on a perfect afternoon in late spring, feeling the gentle heat touching your skin. That warmth you feel is a traveler from a distant world. It is energy that has journeyed 93 million miles across the cold vacuum of space, rushing through the darkness at the speed of light to arrive here at this very moment on this blue planet. But while you merely feel this light as warmth, there is a silent genius around you that knows how to catch it, how to hold it, and how to turn it into life. This is the story of the leaf, the humble, fluttering green creation that is the true master of this world, the alchemist of light. Visualize a single leaf hanging on a branch of a great American oak tree, hovering there in the gentle breeze. It looks simple, it looks delicate, a flat piece of green geometry veined with life. But if your eyes could see what is truly happening inside that leaf, you would see a machine more complex and more perfect than any engine humans have ever built. You would see a cathedral of glass and water,
a factory of silence where the greatest magic of the universe is performed every single second of the day. This is the miracle of photosynthesis, a word that sounds scientific but is actually pure poetry. It means putting together with light. It means taking the chaos of a star and weaving it into the structure of a living thing. Let us shrink down now. Let us become microscopic and enter the surface of this leaf. We drift through the tiny pores on the underside, the stomata, which open like microscopic mouths to breathe in the air. Inside, we find ourselves in a watery, glowing world, a landscape of translucent cells bathed in a soft emerald light. It is like walking into a great green hall made of stained glass, where the walls are alive and the air is thick with humidity. Floating within these cells are the chloroplasts, the true engines of the leaf. They are like tiny green solar discs, millions of them in every single leaf, turning their faces toward the sun, waiting for the arrival of the light, waiting for the kiss of the photon. Imagine the moment the sunlight hits the leaf. It is a collision of cosmic proportions. The energy of the sun, which is born from nuclear fire and violent fusion, strikes the surface of the green chlorophyll. But instead of burning, instead of destroying, something gentle happens. The chlorophyll catches the light. It cradles that packet of fiery energy and absorbs it. It does not let it go. It traps the fire of the star and forces it to do work. This is the alchemy. This is the moment where the ethereal becomes physical. The energy vibrates through the cell, passing from molecule to molecule like a bucket brigade of sparks, a cascading waterfall of light that is being tamed, cooled, and channeled. In this silent factory, the leaf takes two simple things. It takes the water drawn up from the deep roots we explored before, the cool water from the dark earth, and it takes the carbon dioxide from the air, the breath of the world. And with the power of the trapped sunlight, it smashes them together. It breaks the bonds of the water molecules,
splitting them apart with a silent crack of chemical thunder that no ear can hear. And in doing so, it releases a waste product, a byproduct that it does not need: oxygen. Think of that, the very gas that fills your lungs right now, the air that keeps you alive as you lie in your bed, is the exhaust fumes of this silent engine. Every breath you take is a gift from a leaf that was busy making sugar in the sun, a leaf that was working tirelessly so that you could breathe. But the alchemy does not stop there. Having split the water and captured the carbon, the leaf begins to weave. It takes the atoms and stitches them together into new shapes, intricate rings and chains of carbon, creating a substance that is stable, sweet, and energy-rich. It creates glucose. It creates sugar. This is the miracle. The leaf has taken the intangible, blinding light of the sun and turned it into cool green sugar. It has turned energy into matter. It has turned fire into food. This sugar is the fuel of the world. It flows out of the leaf and down the stem, traveling through the veins of the plant to build new branches, to swell the fruit, to sweeten the apple, to harden the wood. Think of the apple you might hold in your hand, its skin red and cool, its flesh crisp and sweet. When you bite into it, you are tasting the sun. You are eating sunlight that has been captured and cooled and stored for you by the tree. The energy that powers your muscles, the heat that keeps your body warm under your blankets tonight, is nothing more than that ancient sunlight released again. You are a creature of the sun, fed by the leaf, connected to the star by this silent green bridge. Every movement you make, Every beat of your heart is powered by the work of these microscopic alchemists. The sheer scale of this work is hypnotic. Imagine the billions of leaves in the Amazon rainforest, the billions of needles in the pine forests of the Rockies, the endless fields of corn in Iowa, the swaying grasses of the Serengeti, all of them at this very moment, or whenever the sun is shining upon them, are performing this silent symphony, inhaling the gray carbon and exhaling the blue oxygen, turning the harsh radiation of space into the sweet nectar of life. It is a global hum of creation, a vibration of pure positivity. There is no violence in this act, only giving, only making, only providing. As the sun begins to set in our story, the factory slowly powers down. The light fades from the sky, turning from gold to violet to black, and the leaves sense the change. The chlorophyll stops its vibration, the stomata gently close like sleeping eyes, and the leaf enters its own time of rest. The night is for moving the sugar, for sending the day's earnings down to the roots or up to the flowers. But the capturing of light is done. The leaf rests in the cool air of the evening,
bathed in starlight, waiting for the dawn, waiting to begin the miracle all over again. You can learn from the leaf tonight. You can learn how to receive. The leaf does not strain to find the sun. It does not struggle or fight. It simply opens itself. It turns its face to the source and allows the energy to come to it. It trusts that the light will arrive, and it trusts that it knows what to do with it. You too can stop striving. You can stop chasing. You can simply open your hands and your heart and receive the rest that is offered to you. Receive the dark, cooling peace of the night, just as the leaf receives the light of the day. Let yourself be filled with the energy of sleep. Let it enter your cells and repair you. Let it turn the exhaustion of the day into the strength of tomorrow. Imagine your body is like the leaf, absorbing the comfort of the bed, absorbing the silence of the room, turning it into peace, turning it into dreams. You are a vessel of life, a complex and beautiful creation that is part of this great cycle. The oxygen you breathe in is fresh and clean, created by the green world, and the breath you release is a gift back to them, a perfect circle of gratitude, a perfect exchange of life. There is no separation between you and the tree, between you and the sun. It is one continuous flow of energy, changing forms, changing states, but always flowing, always holding you. The science of the leaf is the science of life, but it is also a lullaby. The rhythm of the chemistry is a slow and steady beat. Water plus light equals life. Water plus light equals life. Over and over again, a mantra repeated by every blade of grass, by every fern, by every towering redwood. A promise that as long as the sun burns and the earth turns, there will be food, there will be air, there will be shelter. You are safe in this system. You are provided for by these silent workers, these alchemists of light who ask for no wages, who seek no praise, who simply live to turn the sky into sweetness. Drift now on this river of green thought. Imagine yourself floating inside the cell of a leaf, surrounded by the soft emerald glow, suspended in the cool water, watching the golden sparks of sunlight fade into the velvet of the night. Everything is slowing down. The factory is silent. The work is finished. The sugar is stored. The world is fed. You can rest now. You can let go of the need to do, the need to make, the need to be anything other than what you are, a breathing, living being, cradled by the earth, watched over by the trees, filled with the light of 1,000 suns, now cooling, now darkening, now sleeping. Deep, deep sleep, returning to the roots, returning to the silence, becoming one with the quiet miracle of the green world.
We leave the cool shadows of the dense forests now. We leave the canopy of the trees and the enclosed spaces of the wood, and we step out into the open, into a world of light and space that stretches as far as the eye can see. We are traveling to the heart of the American continent, to the ancient landscape of the Midwest as it stood thousands of years ago, before the cities and the roads, when it was simply known as the Great Plains. But to the wind and the sky, it was known as the ocean of grass. Imagine standing on a low rise of land in what would become Kansas or Nebraska, looking out over a horizon that is perfectly flat and endlessly green, a landscape that mimics the sea in every way except one. Instead of water, there is life. Instead of cold waves, there are warm, living blades of grass, billions upon billions of them, weaving together to form a single, undulating blanket that covers the earth. This is a place of immense freedom, a place where the sky is not just a ceiling, but a dominant presence. The big sky that arches over you in a perfect dome of azure blue, unbroken by buildings or mountains, holding you in a vast and airy embrace. The light here is different. It is unfiltered and pure, pouring down from the sun to bathe the world in a warm golden glow. And as you stand there, you feel the tension of the enclosed world slipping away, replaced by the deep rhythmic breathing of the prairie. The grass is tall here, the legendary tall grass prairie, where the big blue stem and the switchgrass grow higher than a man's head, creating a maze of green corridors, a secret world where you can disappear, where you can walk for days and see nothing but the swaying stalks and the blue sky. It is a landscape of solitude, but not loneliness, a solitude that feels full, a solitude that feels like a warm hand resting on your shoulder. Listen to the sound of this place. It is the most hypnotic sound in nature, the sound of the wind moving through 1,000,000 miles of grass. It is a soft, rushing hiss, a susurrus that rises and falls like the tide. Shh. Shh. Endless and rhythmic, a lullaby that the earth sings to itself. The wind here is the conductor of the landscape. It is invisible, but you can see its footprints as it runs across the prairie. Looking out over the green expanse, you can see the wind gusts traveling like ripples on a pond, great silver-green waves rolling toward the horizon, one after another, creating a mesmerizing pattern of light and shadow, dark green, pale green, silver, gold, shifting and changing as the grass bows and recovers, dancing in an eternal partnership with the air. Watching these waves is like watching a fire or watching the ocean. It quiets the mind, it erases thought, it draws you into a trance of pure observation where nothing matters but the movement and the light. The air here smells sweet. It smells of sun-baked earth and curing hay, a warm and wholesome scent that fills your lungs and makes your body feel heavy and relaxed. It is the smell of summer, the smell of growth, the smell of a world that is healthy and whole. Imagine walking slowly through this sea of grass, parting the stalks with your hands as if you were swimming.
The grass feels cool and smooth against your palms. The ground beneath your feet is soft and springy, a thick mattress of sod that has been building up for 10,000 years. This sod is the secret strength of the prairie. Beneath the waving grass lies a root system even deeper and more complex than the forest. Roots that go down 10, 15 feet into the dark earth, weaving a dense mat that holds the soil together.
Holding the moisture, holding the history, you are walking on a living sponge, a vast reservoir of life that supports this ocean of green. And you can feel that stability with every step. The earth here is solid, it is dependable, it is holding you up with a strength that will never fail. As the afternoon wears on, the light begins to change. The harsh brightness of midday softens into the rich, syrupy gold of the late afternoon, the golden hour that photographers love, but here it lasts for hours, painting the tips of the grass with fire, turning the green ocean into a sea of amber and bronze. The shadows lengthen, stretching out across the hills like long, cool fingers, and the heat of the day begins to radiate up from the ground, creating a cozy warmth that wraps around your legs. The birds of the prairie, the meadowlarks and the sparrows sing their final songs of the day, bubbling, cheerful notes that drift on the wind, distinct and clear before fading into the rustling silence. You find a gentle slope, a place where the grass has been matted down by the resting of a buffalo or the play of the wind, and you lie down, sinking into the prairie as if into a feather bed. The grass rises up around you like walls, blocking out the horizon, blocking out the rest of the world, leaving you with nothing but a window to the sky. Lying here, hidden in the tall grass, you feel an incredible sense of safety. You are invisible to the world, tucked away in the pocket of the earth. The grass whispers above you, discussing the secrets of the wind, rubbing blade against blade with a dry, soft friction that sounds like someone whispering, "Hush, hush, hush." It is a sound that tells your nervous system to power down, to let go of the vigilance, to surrender to the gravity. You watch the clouds drifting high above, great white galleons sailing across the blue ocean of the air, moving slowly, so slowly, changing shape as they go. A dragon becomes a castle becomes a ship becomes a feather, dissolving into the blue. Their slow movement matches the slow heaviness spreading through your limbs. Your eyelids feel weighted. Your breathing deepens to match the rhythm of the wind, in and out, rising and falling, just like the waves of the grass. The sun dips lower, touching the rim of the earth, and the sky explodes into color, a vast canvas of violet, orange, and deep rose. The prairie reflects these colors, the grass turning purple in the twilight, the whole world softening into a blur of pastel shades. The heat of the day lifts, replaced by a cool, refreshing breeze that touches your forehead and soothes your skin. This is the transition, the time between the worlds, when the active energy of the sun gives way to the passive, receptive energy of the moon. The ocean of grass slows its dance, the wind dies down to a gentle sigh, and a profound stillness settles over the land. It is not an empty silence, but a living one, filled with the chirp of crickets, the rhythm of the night beginning its song, a steady, pulsing beat that acts as a metronome for your sleep.
You are a voyager on this green ocean, but you do not need to steer the ship. You can simply drift, carried by the rotation of the earth, carried by the ancient cycles of the plains. Think of the millions of acres of grass around you, a massive, living lung that is exhaling peace, exhaling oxygen, exhaling calm. There is no end to it. It stretches from the Mississippi to the Rockies, from the Dakotas down to Texas, a blanket the size of a continent, and you are resting right in the center of it, at the very heart of the quiet. The sheer scale of the landscape puts your own life into perspective. Your worries feel small here, insignificant against the backdrop of the horizon, lost in the endless waves of green. The prairie absorbs them. The earth takes them from you and composts them into peace, leaving you light, leaving you empty, leaving you free. As the stars begin to poke through the darkening blue, one by one, sharp and brilliant in the clean air, you feel a connection to the pioneers who once slept here, to the Native Americans who knew this grass as their mother, to the bison who slumbered in these vast herds. You are part of that lineage of rest, sleeping under the same vast canopy of stars, held by the same soil. The Milky Way stretches out above you, a river of light mirroring the river of grass below, and you are suspended between them, floating in the velvet space between the earth and the sky. The air cools, necessitating a blanket, and you imagine pulling the quilt of the night up to your chin. The darkness is soft here, not heavy. It is a darkness that smells of dew and sleeping flowers. The rhythmic chirping of the insects weaves a net of sound that catches you, holds you, and rocks you. The ocean of grass is asleep now. The blades are still, covered in a fine layer of silver dew, catching the light of the rising moon. The landscape has become a silver sea, glowing softly in the night, beautiful and silent. The only movement is your own chest rising and falling, and the slow drift of your dreams. You are safe in the middle of the continent, anchored by the deep roots, sheltered by the vastness. The wind gives one last gentle sigh, brushing over the top of the grass like a mother smoothing a child's hair, whispering good night, whispering peace, whispering sleep. Let yourself sink down into the soil, down into the roots, down into the ancient silent heart of the prairie. Be the grass, be the wind, be the stillness, drifting away on the endless rolling waves of the green ocean, deep, restful, and profound sleep.
The journey continues, leading us away from the open sea of grass and into the quiet, sacred groves where the shadows are long and the air is thick with the scent of resin and pine. We are entering the ancient pharmacy of the earth, the time before bottles and pills, the time when the forest itself was the doctor and the plants were the healers. This is the chapter of the wisdom of the bark, the story of how the indigenous people of this American land listened to the whispers of the green world and discovered the secrets hidden within the sap. Imagine walking through a dense woodland in the Pacific Northwest, or perhaps along a winding creek in the Appalachians. The ground is soft with generations of fallen needles and leaves, and there is a stillness here that feels attentive, as if the trees are watching you, not with judgment, but with a deep and ancient kindness. They know your body better than you know it yourself. They have been evolving alongside us for millions of years, creating chemical keys to unlock our healing, waiting patiently for us to reach out and accept their gift. Let us walk first to the edge of a slow-moving river, where the water reflects the gray-green leaves of the white willow. This tree is a figure of grace, its branches drooping low to touch the surface of the stream, looking as if it is in a permanent state of bowing, a posture of humility and rest. For thousands of years, the native healers knew that this tree held a powerful magic. When the body was aching, when the fever burned hot, or when the joints were stiff with the cold of winter, they would come to the willow. They would gently peel back a strip of the bitter bark, thanking the tree for its sacrifice, and brew a tea that tasted of the earth and the water. Inside that bark was salicin, the natural ancestor of aspirin, a miracle compound created by the plant to protect itself, which it willingly shared to soothe human pain. Imagine the relief of those ancient people, drinking the warm, bitter liquid and feeling the pain flow out of their bodies like the water flowing down the river. The willow is the tree of comfort, the tree that says it is okay to let go. It is okay to release the tension. It is okay to stop fighting the current and simply float. Visualize that sensation now. The feeling of a natural, cool wave washing over your muscles, dissolving the knots in your shoulders, quieting the inflammation in your joints. The spirit of the white willow is with you, whispering that pain is temporary, that peace is the natural state of being, and that the earth has provided a way to return to that peace. Just as the willow branch bends without breaking, yielding to the wind and the water, you too can become flexible. You can yield to the heaviness of sleep, bending into the mattress, softening your resistance, allowing the healing chemistry of rest to flood your system. Now the landscape shifts. The air becomes drier, filled with the scent of sun-baked earth and sagebrush. We are in the high deserts of the Southwest, the land of red rocks and vast canyons. Here grows the sacred sage, a rugged silver-green shrub that clings to the dry soil with a fierce determination. This is the plant of purification, the plant of clarity. For centuries, the smoke of burning sage has been used to clear the mind and cleanse the spirit. Imagine the scent of it, distinct and sharp, earthy and spicy, a smell that cuts through the mental fog instantly. The indigenous elders say that the sage pushes away bad energy, that it clears the clutter of negative thoughts and leaves only what is true and pure. As you lie there, imagine a bundle of dried sage smoldering gently in an abalone shell, the thin ribbon of white smoke rising up, dancing in the still air, carrying your worries up, up, up into the sky, where they disperse and vanish. The sage is the medicine of the mind. It tells you that you do not need to carry the heavy thoughts of the day into the night. You can smudge them away. You can release them to the wind, leaving your internal space clean, empty, and ready for the sacred act of dreaming. The wisdom of the sage is the wisdom of essentialism. It survives in the harsh desert by holding on to only what is necessary. Its leaves are covered in fine silvery hairs to trap moisture and reflect the harsh sun. It is a master of protection, and tonight it lends that protection to you, creating a boundary around your sleep, a circle of safety where no stress can enter. Only the scent of the desert rain, only the quiet of the canyon, only the silver light of the moon reflecting off the aromatic leaves. Breathe in deeply, imagining that scent filling your lungs, grounding you, connecting you to the ancient wisdom of the indigenous ancestors who walked these lands and found peace in the simple rubbing of a leaf between their fingers, releasing the oils, releasing the magic. We travel now to the deep, cool rainforests of the north, to the realm of the giants, to stand at the foot of the western red cedar, known to the native people as the tree of life. And truly it is,
for there is no part of this tree that did not offer help to the humans who lived in its shadow. Its wood built the canoes that traveled the ocean. Its bark was woven into waterproof clothing and baskets, and its green scale-like leaves were boiled into teas to prevent sickness, to bring vitamin C during the long, dark winters. The cedar is a guardian, a massive, comforting presence that smells of warmth and wood and evergreen spice. Standing next to a cedar is like standing next to a wise grandfather, a being that radiates stability and strength. The bark is fibrous and red, soft to the touch, warm against the skin. Imagine leaning your back against the trunk of a giant cedar, feeling the solid, unmoving strength of the wood supporting your spine. The tree has stood there for 500 years. It has seen storms and fires and generations of people, and it is still here, calm and rooted, and it shares that stability with you. The medicine of the cedar is the medicine of safety. It reminds you that you are sheltered, that you have a home on this earth, and that you are provided for. The essential oils of the cedar wood are natural sedatives. They slow down the heart rate. They deepen the breath. They tell the primitive part of your brain that the danger is over, that the shelter is built, that the fire is lit, and that the night is safe. Let the imaginary scent of cedar wood wrap around you like a heavy, warm blanket, a scent that is nostalgic and deep, recalling the safety of a log cabin or a cedar chest, a scent that triggers a deep biological relaxation.
Your body knows this smell. Your ancestors knew this smell. It is encoded in your DNA as the scent of sanctuary. These plants, the willow, the sage, the cedar, are not just biological machines. They are beings with a purpose. They are the silent healers of the planet, waiting for us to stop running, to stop talking, and to start listening. The medicine they offer is not just in their chemistry, but in their example. They show us how to be still, how to endure, how to turn the raw elements of the earth into something healing and beautiful. They are the alchemists of the soil, drawing up the minerals and the water and transforming them into balms and salves and essential oils that mend our broken bodies and soothe our anxious minds. Think of the sap running through the veins of these trees, a slow amber liquid that is the lifeblood of the forest. It moves slowly, much slower than your blood. It moves with the rhythm of the seasons, rising in the spring, settling in the winter. And as you connect with this image, your own blood begins to cool and slow. Your own rhythm begins to match the hydraulic pulse of the tree. The forest is a vast open-air hospital where the beds are made of moss and the medicine hangs from the branches. There is no waiting room here. There is no insurance needed, only the willingness to rest, to lay your body down on the earth and let the plants do their work. Imagine that while you sleep tonight, the spirit of these plants is tending to you. The willow is washing away your aches. The sage is clearing your dreams. The cedar is standing guard at the foot of your bed. You are the recipient of 1,000,000 years of botanical wisdom, a legacy of healing that has been passed down from seed to seed, from healer to healer, until it reached you right here, right now. There is a profound comfort in knowing that we are not alone in our healing, that the earth wants us to be well, that it produces leaves and barks specifically designed to interact with our bodies. It is a partnership of biology, a lock and key relationship that proves we belong here. We are not strangers on this planet, we are its children. And like a mother, the earth keeps a medicine cabinet ready for us, stocked with everything we need to rest and recover. Allow this feeling of belonging to settle deep into your bones, displacing the loneliness, displacing the fear. You are held in a web of life that cares for you,
a web that is green and fragrant and alive. As the moon rises over the native lands, over the canyons and the rivers and the great forests, the plants continue their silent vigil. The aroma of the sage intensifies in the cool night air. The willow leaves rustle softly like a lullaby. The cedar boughs sway with a gentle creaking sound that is the music of the woods. The world is at peace. The medicine has been taken. The healing has begun. And now there is nothing left to do but drift, to let the heavy eyelids close, to let the mind float down the river of sleep, guided by the wisdom of the bark, protected by the ancient sentinels, sinking deeper and deeper into the restorative, healing, and profound silence of the natural world. Sleep now, safe in the arms of the earth. Sleep.
We have spent much of our journey with the plants that stay, the trees that root themselves in one place for 1,000 years, standing like statues against the sky. But now the story shifts. The energy changes from stillness to movement, from stability to flow. For within the plant kingdom there are wanderers, there are explorers, there are brave travelers who leave the safety of their home to venture out into the unknown. This is the story of the seed, the tiny encased vessel of life that trusts destiny enough to let go. Imagine standing on the edge of a tropical island in the deep Pacific. The air is warm and smells of salt and hibiscus. The turquoise water laps gently against the white sand, and there, lying at the water's edge, is a coconut. It looks like a simple rough stone, but it is actually one of the greatest nautical engineers in history, a boat built by nature to cross the vastest oceans on Earth. Visualize the moment this journey begins. The coconut falls from the parent tree with a soft thud into the sand, and then the high tide comes. The warm water reaches up, lifts it gently, and pulls it out into the embrace of the sea. This is the moment of surrender. The moment where the seed gives up control and allows the greater forces of the world to take over. Imagine being that seed, encased in a thick, fibrous husk that is filled with air, making you perfectly buoyant. You are waterproof, you are armored, you are safe, bobbing up and down in the rhythmic swell of the ocean. The land fades away behind you until there is nothing but the blue circle of the sea and the blue dome of the sky. You are alone, but you are not lonely, for you are held by the water, rocked by the currents that have circled the globe for millions of years. The journey of the drift seed is a masterclass in patience. Days turn into weeks, weeks turn into months, and still the seed floats, carried by the trade winds and the equatorial currents, drifting under the blazing sun and the cool, starlit nights. Inside the shell, the embryo of the palm tree is asleep, protected from the salt, protected from the sun, resting in a state of suspended animation, waiting for the signal to wake. Think of the trust involved in this journey. The seed does not know where it is going. It does not have a map. It does not have a rudder. It simply trusts that the ocean will take it where it needs to go. It trusts that eventually there will be land. This is a metaphor for your own sleep tonight. You do not need to steer the ship of your life right now. You do not need to know exactly where tomorrow will take you. You can simply pull your legs up, curl into your shell, and let the current of the night carry you, trusting that you will wash up on a safe shore in the morning. Sometimes the ocean is glassy and calm, reflecting the clouds like a mirror, and the seed barely moves, spinning slowly in the silence. Sometimes the storms come, the waves rise up like mountains, but the seed is designed for this. It rides over the crests, it tumbles in the foam, resilient and tough, unshakable in its purpose. And then, after traveling perhaps 3,000 miles, crossing an entire ocean, the seed feels something new, the scrape of sand. The tumbling of the surf pushing it up the beach. It has arrived.
It has found a new home on a distant continent, a place it could never have reached if it had stayed clinging to the branch. It settles into the sand, the rains come, and the shell cracks open, sending a root down into the strange new soil and a green shoot up into the new sun. The traveler has become the settler. The journey is complete. But the ocean is not the only highway for the travelers. There is another ocean above us, the invisible ocean of the air. And here the travelers are not heavy boats like the coconut, but light as feathers, delicate as dreams. Turn your mind's eye now to a meadow in the American Midwest on a lazy afternoon in late summer. The air is golden and filled with dust motes dancing in the shafts of light. And standing tall among the grasses are the milkweeds and the dandelions, the engineers of flight. Look closely at a dandelion head, a perfect sphere of white fluff, a geodesic dome of tiny parachutes waiting for the wind. Each single seed is attached to a stalk of fine, silky filaments called a pappus, a structure so lightweight that it creates its own vortex, its own lift, allowing it to stay aloft for miles. The wind picks up, a gentle breeze that ripples the grass, and the seeds release their hold. Imagine that sensation of detachment, the tiny snap of letting go, and then the incredible feeling of weightlessness as you are lifted up, up, up into the air. You are no longer bound by gravity. You are flying, drifting over the fences, over the rivers, over the rooftops, spinning gently in the updrafts, seeing the world from above, a patchwork quilt of green and gold. The airborne seed is the ultimate optimist. It packs a tiny lunchbox of nutrients inside its shell, just enough to get started, and then it leaps into the sky, trusting that the wind will carry it to fertile ground. It does not worry about landing on a rock or in a river. It focuses only on the flight, on the freedom of the movement. Imagine yourself as one of these seeds, a tiny speck of white floating in the vast blue sky, completely unburdened. You have left your heavy roots behind. You have left your responsibilities behind. You are simply drifting, catching the thermal currents, rising and falling with the breath of the atmosphere. The silence up here is absolute. The only sound is the wind rushing past your ears, a soft white noise that clears the mind. These travelers have crossed continents. They have crossed mountain ranges. They have populated the earth through the sheer power of letting go. Watching a cottonwood seed float by on a summer day is hypnotic. It moves with such grace, never rushing, never struggling. It accepts every shift in the wind, every change in direction. If the wind blows north, it goes north. If the wind dies down, it descends. If the wind picks up, it rises again. It is in perfect harmony with the forces around it. And this is the lesson the plants offer us tonight. The wisdom of non-resistance, the peace that comes when we stop fighting the flow of life and start riding it. There is a deep peace in the idea of the drift, of not being in charge, of realizing that there are larger forces at work, forces that are capable of carrying you. The ocean carries the coconut, the wind carries the dandelion, and the night carries you. You are part of this great migration of rest, traveling from the waking world to the dreaming world, crossing the dark ocean of sleep to reach the shores of morning. You do not need to swim. You do not need to fly. You only need to let go of the branch, let go of the stem, and allow the gravity of sleep to take you. Think of the millions of seeds floating through the air right now, invisible travelers in the night, looking for a place to rest, looking for a patch of soft earth. Eventually, the wind slows, the thermal currents cool, and the seed begins its slow, spiral descent, drifting down through the twilight, down through the shadows of the trees, until it gently touches the ground, coming to rest in the cool, damp grass. The flight is over. The stillness returns. The seed wiggles into the soil, finding a comfortable hollow, finding protection. It is tired from the journey. It is ready to sleep, ready to become dormant, ready to wait for the rain. The journey of the seed is a promise that you can trust the unknown, that you can leave the familiar behind and still be safe, that you can close your eyes and drift into the void and still be held. The earth is waiting to catch you. The bed is waiting to support you. The blankets are there to cover you like the soil covers the seed. You are safe to land now, safe to stop moving, safe to stop thinking. The wind has died down. The waters are calm. The destination has been reached. As you lie there, feel the heaviness of your own body, the pleasant weight of being grounded after a long day of flight. Your thoughts are no longer flying around like dandelion seeds in a storm. They are settling, drifting down one by one, landing softly on the floor of your mind, becoming still, becoming quiet. You are planting yourself in the deep, rich soil of sleep, sinking your roots down into the mattress, anchoring yourself for the night. The journey is done, the traveling is over, and now it is time to rest, time to let the shell protect you, time to let the darkness hold you, sleeping as deeply and as peacefully as a coconut on a distant shore, as a seed in the winter earth, trusting destiny, trusting the dark, trusting the sleep.
We leave the fertile soil of the prairies and the damp earth of the rainforests now. We begin a journey upward, climbing higher and higher into the thin and crystal air of the American West. We are traveling to the stark and beautiful White Mountains of California and the high, lonely peaks of Nevada, to a place where the earth touches the sky. This is a landscape of blinding white dolomite rock and deep blue space, a place where the silence is so absolute that it rings in your ears like a bell. Here, in this harsh and unforgiving environment, lives the oldest non-clonal organism on the entire planet, the Great Basin bristlecone pine, the ultimate master of patience, the sentinel of time. Imagine standing on a windswept ridge at 10,000 feet. The air is cool and crisp, filling your lungs with a purity that only exists at this altitude. And before you stands a tree that defies everything we know about life. It does not look like the tall, straight pines of the lower forests. It is twisted, gnarled, a beautiful sculpture of gold and orange wood that has been polished by the wind for 4,000 years. These trees are the elders of the world, the silent witnesses to human history. Imagine the timeline as you look at the weathered bark of this ancient being. When this tree was just a tiny seedling, pushing its first green needle up through the white rock, the great pyramids of Egypt were not yet built. The pharaohs had not yet risen. The woolly mammoth was still walking the earth in isolated pockets. When this tree was a sapling, the city of Troy fell. The Greek Empire rose and collapsed. The Roman legions marched across Europe and faded into dust. And through it all, through the rise and fall of every civilization, through the wars and the peace, through the noise and the silence, this tree has stood right here, rooted in this same patch of rock, motionless, silent, enduring. It puts our human concept of time into perspective. It tells us that there is no rush, that urgency is an illusion,
and that survival is not about speed, but about stability. The beauty of the bristlecone is a beauty of resilience. It lives where nothing else can. It chooses the harshest conditions, the driest soil, the coldest winters, and it thrives. Because in this hardship, it finds safety. There is no competition here, no other plants to steal its light, no insects to eat its wood. It is alone in its high castle, protected by the very environment that seems so hostile. This is a powerful lesson for your own mind tonight. The idea that you can find peace even in difficult times, that you can find a quiet strength within yourself that is untouched by the chaos of the world. The bristlecone pine survives by growing slowly, so slowly that it is almost imperceptible. It might add only an inch of girth in 100 years. Think of that pace, a life lived in slow motion, a life where a single year is just a single breath. Let your own heart rate slow down to match this ancient rhythm. Let your breathing lengthen, let your thoughts stretch out, becoming long and slow and spacious. The wood of these trees is incredibly dense, filled with resin that preserves it like stone. Even after the tree dies, it can stand on the mountain for another 2,000 years, refusing to rot, refusing to fall, a monument to its own existence.
As you visualize this tree, notice how it manages its energy. If a year is too dry, if the resources are too low, the tree does not panic. It simply allows a part of itself to go dormant. It lets a branch die back so that the core can survive. It practices the wisdom of letting go, of shedding what is not necessary to preserve the center. You can do this too as you prepare for sleep. You can let go of the outer layers of your life, the worries about work, the plans for tomorrow, the shallow concerns of the day. Let them fade, let them go dark, and pull your energy back into your center, back into the deep, beating heart of your existence, where you are alive, where you are safe, where you are eternal. The wind up here is a constant companion. It howls through the twisted branches, but the tree does not fight it. The tree allows the wind to shape it, bending and twisting over centuries until it becomes a work of art, aerodynamic and grounded. The wind scours the bark, revealing the smooth golden wood beneath, glowing in the high-altitude sun. There is a profound silence in this wind, a sound that is both loud and quiet at the same time, a rushing white noise that sweeps away all other sounds. Imagine yourself leaning against the trunk of one of these ancients. The wood is warm from the sun, solid as rock against your back. You can feel the vibration of the earth moving up through the roots, a deep humming frequency of stability. You are anchored to the mountain, held by roots that have gripped this stone since the Bronze Age. Nothing can move you, nothing can shake you. As the sun begins to set over the Great Basin, the light changes, painting the white rocks in shades of violet and rose. The shadows of the twisted trees stretch out long across the ground, reaching toward the east, reaching toward the night. The temperature drops, and the air becomes even clearer, revealing a sky that is crowded with stars, more stars than you have ever seen. The Milky Way arches over the silhouette of the pine, a river of diamond dust flowing through the dark. The tree stands there, a black shape against the starlight, keeping its watch. It has seen this night sky 4 million times. It has watched the constellations slowly shift their positions over millennia. It is the ultimate observer, awake while the world sleeps, patient while the world rushes. There is a comfort in being in the presence of something so old.
It makes your own life feel light and unburdened. The problems that seemed so big today are nothing in the face of 4,000 years. They are just passing clouds, just a momentary shift in the wind. The tree has seen it all, and it is still standing, and so will you. You will endure. You will survive.
You have the strength of the mountains in your bones, the resilience of the pine in your spirit. Let the image of the bristlecone fill your mind, a symbol of perfect endurance, of a life that is stripped down to the essentials, a life that is pure and hard and beautiful. The silence of the high mountains is a heavy, blanketed silence. There are no crickets here, no frogs, only the sound of your own breath and the sound of the wind. It is a solitude that cleanses the soul. Imagine that you are lying on a bed of dolomite, wrapped in a heavy wool blanket, looking up at the ancient stars. The tree stands beside you like a guardian, its twisted arms framing the cosmos, protecting you from the vastness. You are safe in the company of the elders, safe in the high sanctuary of the West. The air is cold on your face, but your body is warm, warm with the heat of life, warm with the heaviness of sleep that is creeping into your limbs. The tree does not sleep, but it rests. It enters a state of deep metabolic peace, and you are joining it now, entering the slow time, the deep time. Think of the rings inside the trunk of the tree, thousands of microscopic circles, each one a year of life, wrapped around each other in a tight embrace, holding the memory of the rain, the memory of the sun, the memory of the snow. Your life is just one ring in the great tree of humanity, nestled safely among the others, held by the past, holding the future. You are part of a continuous story that never ends, a story written in wood and stone and starlight. Allow yourself to drift back, back through the centuries, back to the beginning, feeling the roots of your own being sinking deep into the bedrock, finding the water, finding the anchor. The sentinels of the West are still there right now, standing on the white ridges of Nevada, standing in the moonlight. They are breathing for you. They are holding the mountain together for you. They are waiting for the sun to return, but they are in no hurry. They have nowhere to go. They have nothing to do but be. And that is your only task tonight, simply to be, to exist in the dark, to breathe the clean air, to let the wind polish your mind until it is smooth and quiet. Let the patience of the pine seep into your blood, slowing everything down, slower, slower, until a minute feels like an hour, until an hour feels like a day, until time stops altogether, and there is only the sleep, the deep, ancient, stone-heavy sleep of the mountains, solid, enduring, and at peace. We leave the high, thin air of the mountains and the ancient stillness of the pines, and we travel now into a time of steam and iron, a time of gaslight and fog, the 19th century, an era when the world was becoming smaller, but the mysteries of nature were becoming deeper. We step into the age of the Victorian obsession, a period when humanity fell under a strange and beautiful spell, a fever that swept from the drawing rooms of London to the mansions of New York and Boston. This was the era of the orchid fever, the time when plants became more valuable than gold. Imagine the contrast. The industrial world was building factories and railways, covering the cities in soot and gray. But the human heart longed for the wild, for the exotic, for the green. And so began the great hunt, the search for the green gold that lay hidden in the deep and dangerous jungles of the Amazon,
and the misty cloud forests of the Andes. Explorers were no longer just looking for land or spices. They were looking for beauty. They were risking their lives for a petal, for a leaf, for a bulb that held the promise of a flower no human eye in the north had ever seen. Visualize the journey of one of these plant hunters, leaving the noise of the city behind, boarding a wooden ship that sails south, crossing the equator, entering the humid embrace of the tropics. The air here is heavy and sweet, thick with the scent of decay and blooming life. The silence of the rainforest is not empty, it is a living silence, a vibrating hum of insects and distant birds. The light is filtered through the triple canopy of the trees, creating a cathedral of shadows where the explorer walks softly on the damp earth, looking up, always looking up, scanning the branches of the towering mahogany and kapok trees for a flash of color, for the silhouette of an orchid clinging to the bark. This is a treasure hunt of the highest order, but the treasure is fragile. The treasure is alive. Imagine the moment of discovery. The hunter pushes aside a curtain of vines, and there, resting in the fork of a tree, bathed in a single shaft of sunlight, is the prize, a Cattleya orchid, its petals unfurling in shades of velvet purple and snowy white, a flower so complex and so beautiful that it seems to be looking back at you, seducing you with its symmetry and its scent. This obsession was not just about ownership, it was about a deep psychological need to connect with the wildness of the earth. These plants were travelers from a dream world, bringing the mystery of the jungle into the rigid order of the Victorian home. But getting them back was a feat of engineering and patience. For years, the plants died on the long sea voyages, killed by the salt spray and the lack of fresh water, until the invention of the Wardian case, a simple glass box sealed tight to create its own miniature atmosphere. Imagine the orchid being gently placed inside this glass womb, a tiny terrarium where the water cycle circled endlessly, protecting the sleeping plant from the storms of the Atlantic. The ship rocks and sways, the waves crash against the hull, but inside the glass case, the air is still. The humidity is perfect, and the green gold sleeps in safety, crossing the ocean to find a new home in the north. Now let us transport ourselves to the destination, to the grand conservatories and glasshouses that were rising up in the cities of America and Europe. Imagine a cold winter evening in late December. The snow is falling softly outside, blanketing the streets of New York in white. The wind is biting and cold, but you are standing in front of a magnificent structure of iron and glass, glowing from within like a lantern. You open the door and step inside, and instantly the world changes. You are hit with a wave of warm, moist air that smells of wet earth, vanilla, and moss. The noise of the city vanishes, replaced by the gentle dripping of condensation falling from the high glass roof. You have stepped into a winter dream, a tropical paradise encased in crystal. This is the hypnotic allure of the plant collection, the ability to suspend the seasons, to create an eternal summer in the middle of the freeze. Walk slowly down the brick paths of this glass cathedral, surrounded by palms that touch the ceiling and ferns that unfurl their fronds like green fountains. The air is rich with oxygen, heavy and relaxing, making your limbs feel loose and warm. Everywhere you look, there are wonders. The plants that seduced humanity are here on display, not behind bars, but living and breathing, reaching out to touch you with their leaves. Look at the orchids now, hanging in baskets from the rafters, their roots dangling in the air, drinking the humidity.
Their flowers are like jewels, amethysts, rubies, pearls, carved from living tissue. They are motionless, perfectly still, radiating a calm that is almost supernatural. The Victorians believed that looking at these plants could cure the weary mind, that the symmetry of a fern or the curve of a lily could bring order to a chaotic soul. And as you walk through this warm green tunnel, you can feel that cure working on you. The glass house is a womb of silence. The only sound is the rain or the snow tapping gently against the glass panes high above, a rhythmic drumming that separates you from the cold reality outside. You are safe here, protected by the transparent walls, observing the storm but not feeling it. The plants are your companions, silent and accepting. They do not ask for anything. They only offer their beauty, their green stillness. Imagine sitting on a wrought iron bench in the corner of the conservatory, surrounded by the large, waxy leaves of a philodendron. The condensation on the glass blurs the lights of the city outside, turning the world into a soft, impressionistic painting. The heat of the pipes running under the floor radiates up, warming your feet, warming your legs, creating a cozy cocoon of comfort that makes your eyelids heavy.
This obsession with the green gold was a love story, a recognition that we cannot live without the natural world, even as we built cities of brick and stone. We built glass houses to keep the plants close, to keep the connection alive. Think of the care that was taken to keep these plants alive. The coal fires stoked through the night to keep the temperature up, the gentle misting of the leaves, the quiet dedication of the gardeners who served the plants. You are the beneficiary of that care now, resting in the legacy of that obsession, surrounded by the descendants of those first travelers from the Amazon. The spirit of the jungle is here, tamed and softened, purring like a cat in the warmth of the greenhouse. The shapes of the leaves are hypnotic, the endless repeating patterns of the ferns, the fractals of nature that draw the eye in and quiet the brain. Tracing the line of a vein on a leaf is a meditation, following it from the stem to the tip, a journey that leads nowhere but into peace. The colors are soothing, not the harsh, bright colors of screens or neon, but the deep, restful greens, the olives, the emeralds, the forest shades that signal safety to the deepest part of your mind. Green is the color of rest, the color of home, and here you are drowning in it, submerged in a tank of green light and warm air. The explorers risked everything because they knew that these plants held a power to enchant, a power to heal, and a power to make us dream. And tonight, the plants are using that power on you. The orchid is casting its spell. The fern is waving its wand, weaving a net of sleep around you. The heavy, humid air presses against your skin like a soft blanket. The smell of the soil grounds you, reminding you that you are made of earth, that you belong to the ground. The hustle of the Victorian age, the noise of the steam engines, the ticking of the clocks, it all fades away in the presence of the green gold. Here, time is measured not in minutes, but in the slow unfurling of a new leaf, in the gradual opening of a bud. Let yourself drift in this warm, glass-enclosed world. Imagine that you are lying down on a bed of soft moss in the center of the conservatory, the tropical trees arching over you to form a canopy, the glass roof above revealing the swirling snow in the night sky. You are warm, you are safe,
You are watching the cold from a place of perfect comfort. The contrast makes the warmth feel even sweeter, the silence even deeper. The plants are breathing with you, a slow, collective respiration that fills the room with peace. The hunt is over. The green gold has been found, and it is here, keeping you company in the dark, watching over you with 1,000 green eyes, guarding your sleep, ensuring your rest. Drift away now into the humidity, into the warmth, into the lush and beautiful dream of the garden.
We travel now to the very edge of the continent, to the mist-shrouded coast of Northern California and the deep green corridors of the Pacific Northwest, leaving the enclosed glass houses behind to stand beneath the open sky. Yet here the sky is barely visible, filtered through a canopy so high and so dense that it feels as though we have entered a separate world entirely, a world of shadows and vertical lines. This is the home of the coast redwoods, the Sequoia sempervirens, the tallest living beings on the face of the earth. Imagine stepping out of your car and walking into one of these ancient groves, perhaps in the Avenue of the Giants or Muir Woods. The first thing you notice is the change in the air. It is cool here, perpetually cool and damp, carrying the clean, sharp scent of pine needles, wet earth, and the salt of the nearby ocean. The air feels washed, scrubbed clean by the mist that rolls in from the Pacific every single day. This mist is the lifeblood of the forest, a gray, silent ghost that weaves through the trunks, softening the light, blurring the edges of reality, and creating an atmosphere of profound mystery and peace. You are entering a cathedral, but one not built by human hands. The columns here are massive trunks of reddish-brown bark, growing straight up toward the heavens, disappearing into the white fog above. Some of these trees are over 300 feet tall, living skyscrapers that have stood here since the time of the Roman Empire. Standing at the base of one of these giants, you feel a sudden and comforting shift in perspective. You feel small, but not insignificant. It is a good kind of smallness, the kind that lifts the weight of the world off your shoulders. In the presence of something so immense, your problems, your worries, your to-do lists, they all shrink down to nothing. They simply cannot exist here. The scale of the forest absorbs them, rendering them invisible. You are just a tiny speck of life standing at the foot of the elders, and that realization brings a deep wave of relief, a permission to let go of the need to be in control. The trees are in control here. They are holding up the sky. They are drinking the mist. They are anchoring the earth. The silence of the redwood forest is unlike any other silence on earth. It is a heavy, cushioned silence. The bark of the redwood is thick and fibrous, sometimes a foot deep, and it acts as a perfect sound absorber, soaking up the noise of the wind, the noise of footsteps, the noise of the outside world. When you speak here, your voice is hushed, swallowed by the softness, creating a sense of reverence, a feeling that you are in a holy place, a sanctuary of nature. Imagine walking softly over the forest floor. The ground is springy and soft, covered in centuries of fallen needles that have turned into a plush carpet of rust and gold. Silent ferns, the sword ferns and the lady ferns, grow in lush green explosions at the base of the trees, looking like prehistoric lace against the dark wood.
Everything here is green and brown and gray, a palette of rest, a palette of calm. There are no jarring colors, no sudden movements, only the slow vertical growth of the giants. Reach out in your mind and touch the bark of the nearest tree. It is not hard and cold like stone. It is soft,
warm to the touch and surprisingly dry despite the mist. It feels like the fur of a great animal, fibrous and deep. Running your hand over the ridges, you can feel the history of the tree, the scars of ancient fires that it survived, the strength of the fibers that hold it upright against the winter storms. This tree is a survivor. It has lived through droughts and floods and fires and axes, and it is still here, calm and immovable, a pillar of resilience. Lean your back against the trunk. Feel the solidity of it, a living wall that supports you. You can lean your full weight into it and it will not budge. It offers you its strength, allowing you to borrow its stability for the night. You are protected here, surrounded by a circle of titans that form a fortress against the chaos of the world. Nothing can reach you in this grove. The mist hides you, the trees guard you, the silence wraps you. Look up now. Let your eyes travel up the trunk, up past the first branches, which are higher than most other trees grow, up into the complex canopy where the redwood creates its own soil, its own ecosystem high above the ground. Scientific researchers have found that there are entire gardens growing 300 feet in the air, mats of fern and berry bushes, and salamanders that live their whole lives without ever touching the ground. It is a secret world, a penthouse of nature hidden in the fog. Looking up at the crown of the tree where it vanishes into the white mist gives you a feeling of vertigo, a feeling of endless ascension, drawing your spirit up, lengthening your spine, expanding your breath. The tree connects the earth to the sky, and by leaning against it, you become part of that connection, a bridge between the soil and the mist. The fog moves slowly through the trees, drifting like a slow river of white water, cooling your face, settling on your skin as tiny, microscopic droplets of peace. This is the breath of the ocean meeting the breath of the forest, a mingling of waters that sustains this ecosystem. Listen to the sound of the forest drinking, a soft, almost inaudible dripping sound as the needles catch the fog and condense it into water. Drip, 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 falling from the high branches to the thirsty roots below. It is a hypnotic rhythm, a slow metronomic beat that slows your heart, slows your thoughts, washing away the dust of the day, leaving you clean and hydrated and cool. The air is so oxygen-rich here that every breath feels like a meal, revitalizing your cells, clearing your head, preparing you for the deep work of sleep.
There is a timelessness in the redwood grove, a sense that the clocks have stopped. The light here is eternal twilight, soft and diffused, never harsh. The sun rays, when they do break through the mist, appear as distinct shafts of light, God rays that illuminate the floating mist and the dancing dust motes, creating a spectacle of divine beauty. You are walking through a living painting, a masterpiece of shadow and light that has been perfecting itself for millions of years. The redwoods are the sentinels of the West, the guardians of the American coast. They have watched the indigenous tribes pass, they have watched the settlers arrive, they have watched the modern world rise, and they remain unchanged, stoic and calm, holding their ground, holding the memory of the earth. As the evening deepens, the mist becomes thicker, wrapping the forest in a blanket of white wool. The trees seem to step closer together, closing ranks to protect you for the night. The temperature drops slightly, making you want to curl up,
to find a hollow at the base of a great tree, perhaps in a goose pen, a cavern carved out by fire in the base of a living tree, a warm, dry cave where you can nestle into the soft duff and feel completely embraced by the wood. Imagine lying there, looking out at the foggy forest, feeling the warmth of the tree surrounding you on three sides, a natural womb of safety. The smell of the redwood dust and the damp earth is the ultimate aromatherapy, a scent that triggers deep, primal relaxation. You are safe in the land of the giants. You do not need to be big. You do not need to be strong. The trees are big and strong for you. You can be small. You can be fragile. You can be soft. The forest accepts you exactly as you are. It asks nothing of you but to breathe and to rest. The immense age of the trees reminds you that life is long, that patience is powerful, and that standing still is sometimes the most important action of all. Let the stillness of the redwood enter your bones. Let your legs become heavy like the roots, sinking deep into the coastal soil. Let your torso become stable like the trunk, unshakable and solid. Let your mind become like the canopy, lost in the mist, floating, drifting, detached from the ground, touching the clouds. The cathedral is closing for the night. The birds have gone quiet. The wind has died down, leaving only the damp, heavy silence of the mist. The giants are standing guard, a circle of ancient friends watching over your sleep. You can close your eyes now, knowing that the walls of the forest are thick, that the roof of the forest is high, and that the ground of the forest is soft. You are held in the hand of nature, cradled by the tallest living things on earth. Feel the protection, feel the peace, feel the cool, clean air filling your lungs one last time before you drift off, sinking deeper and deeper into the roots, into the history, into the mist, safe, small, protected, and deeply, deeply asleep.
The journey has taken us across eons and continents, from the primordial mists to the towering redwoods, but now we bring the focus closer to home, closer to the present moment, stepping softly into the intimate and magical world of the garden after dark. The sun has finally dipped below the horizon, taking with it the heat and the noise of the day, and a hush has fallen over the land. This is the time of the great transition, the changing of the guard. For while the roses and the daisies and the sunflowers fold their petals and droop their heads, entering their nightly rest, there is a secret society of plants that is just waking up, stretching their limbs and preparing to greet the moon. These are the night bloomers, the plants of the shadows, the keepers of the midnight watch. Imagine yourself sitting on a wooden porch in the American South, or perhaps in a quiet backyard in New England. The air is cooling down rapidly, bringing a welcome relief to your skin. The crickets have begun their rhythmic fiddling, a steady pulse of sound that weaves a net of comfort around the house. And the light has turned from gold to a deep, bruised purple, and finally to a soft silver gray. The stage is set for the most beautiful performance in nature, a performance that happens silently while the rest of the world is asleep. Look over to the trellis climbing the side of the porch, where a tangle of heart-shaped leaves creates a wall of green privacy. Here grows the moonflower, the Ipomea alba, the queen of the night vines. All day long, these buds have been tight, spiraled shut like white umbrellas, looking uninspiring and closed. But now, as the darkness touches them, they begin to move. If you watch closely, you can actually see it happening.
a slow-motion explosion of life. The white petals begin to unfurl, spinning open in a perfect spiral, expanding, stretching, growing wider and wider, until they form a massive, perfect white trumpet, glowing in the dim light like a lantern. It is a mesmerizing sight, a reminder that life does not stop when we close our eyes, that beauty is constant, that the earth is always active, always creating, always blooming. The moonflower does not need the sun to shine. It has its own inner luminescence, a pearlescent glow that reflects the starlight, guiding the creatures of the night to its heart. And with the opening of the flower comes the scent. Oh, the scent of the night garden is unlike anything in the day. The day flowers smell sweet and light, but the night flowers smell heavy, rich, and intoxicating. They release a perfume that is designed to travel through the thick, cool air of the dark. It smells of vanilla, of musk, of deep jasmine and spice, a scent that bypasses your thinking brain and goes straight to your emotions, calming you, grounding you, making your eyelids feel heavy with its sheer richness. Imagine breathing in that aroma now, the scent of the moonflower drifting across the porch on a gentle breeze. Filling your lungs with the essence of the night, it is a smell that feels like a hug, a smell that wraps you in a velvet cloak of safety, telling you that the night is not a time of fear, but a time of beauty and connection. Walk with me in your mind across the cooling grass, which is already wet with the first touch of dew, to the edge of the wild meadow where the evening primrose grows. This is a Native American plant, a humble wildflower that has grown on this continent for thousands of years. During the day, it looks ragged and tired, but now, in the twilight, it stands tall, its pale yellow petals popping open with a suddenness that can sometimes make a soft snapping sound, a tiny pop of celebration. The yellow is not the bright, harsh yellow of the sun, but a soft, buttery lemon color that seems to hold its own light, glowing against the dark green of the grass like scattered stars. These are the lanterns of the earth, lighting the path for the moths. Imagine the sphinx moth, the hummingbirds of the night, arriving now on silent, furry wings, hovering in front of the primrose, drinking the nectar, pollinating the world while we dream. There is a partnership here, a secret dance between the moth and the flower that has been going on since before humans walked the earth, a dance of silence, of softness, of gray wings and yellow petals moving in the dark. Travel further west now in your imagination to the high deserts of Arizona and New Mexico, where the air is dry and the sky is an endless dome of stars. Here lives the true elusive legend of the plant world, the night-blooming cereus, the queen of the night cactus. This plant looks like a dead stick for 364 days of the year, a dry, gray tangle of stems hidden in the shadows of the mesquite bushes. But on one single night, usually under the light of a full moon, the entire desert floor transforms. The cactus produces a flower the size of a dinner plate, pure white, trembling with delicate stamens, radiating a fragrance so powerful it can be smelled a mile away. It opens for one night only, blooming in the darkness, offering its beauty entirely to the moon, and by the time the sun rises, it will be gone, wilted and finished. Think of the lesson in that, the lesson of ephemeral beauty, of living fully in the moment, of giving everything you have to the now. The cactus does not save its energy for tomorrow. It blooms with total abandon in the dark, confident, radiant, and free. This shift from the sun's energy to the moon's energy is a shift from doing to being. The sun is active, pushing, growing, demanding, but the moon is passive, reflecting, cooling, receiving. The night bloomers understand this. They do not strive, they simply open. They allow the cool light to enter them. They allow the night air to caress them. And you can do the same. As you lie in your bed, you can shift your internal state from the solar mode of the day, the working, the thinking, the planning, to the lunar mode of the night, the feeling, the dreaming, the resting. Let your mind become like the moonflower, unfurling slowly in the dark, releasing the tight spiral of the day's stress, opening up to the silence. Let your thoughts become soft and white and fragrant, drifting away like the scent of jasmine on the wind. The colors of the night garden are the colors of sleep: silver, white, pale yellow,
Deep indigo. There are no jarring reds or oranges here, only the soothing palette of the shadows. Visualizing these colors helps to lower your brain waves, to move you from the beta state of alertness to the alpha and theta states of deep relaxation. Imagine a garden composed entirely of white flowers, white lilies, white nicotiana, white moon vines glowing softly in the moonlight. Seeing them not with your eyes, but with your inner sense, a ghostly, beautiful landscape that exists between the waking world and the dream world. It is a place of magic, a place where the rules of the day do not apply, where heavy things become light, where time stretches out and loops back on itself. The night bloomers are also the healers of the air. While the day plants absorb carbon dioxide, many night plants release oxygen in the dark, freshening the atmosphere, purifying the world while we sleep. Imagine that the air in your bedroom is being scrubbed clean by these silent workers outside your window, that every breath you take is richer and purer because of the work they are doing. They are the night nurses of the planet, tending to the atmosphere, balancing the chemistry, watching over the sleepers. There is a profound sense of companionship in this. You are not alone in the dark. The garden is awake. The garden is alive. The garden is watching. Feel the cool, damp air of the night settling over you, a contrast to the warmth of your blankets, creating the perfect condition for sleep. The temperature has dropped. The earth is exhaling the heat of the day, breathing out a long, slow sigh of relief. And you are sighing with it, letting your shoulders drop, letting your jaw relax, letting the muscles of your face smooth out. You are becoming a creature of the night, safe in your burrow, safe in your nest, listening to the silence, which is not empty, but full of the soft rustle of leaves and the opening of petals. The whole world is a cradle, rocking you gently, swaying with the movement of the wind in the vines. The angel's trumpet, the brugmansia, hangs its giant bell-shaped flowers upside down from the branches, dripping with scent, tolling a silent bell for the start of the dream time. Ding, dong, sleep, sleep. The bells are ringing in the garden of sleep, calling you home, calling you inward, calling you down. The petals are soft as velvet, cool to the touch. Imagine brushing your cheek against one of them, feeling the softness, smelling the sweetness. It is a sensory lullaby, a bath of comfort for your tired senses. The world of sharp edges and bright lights is gone, replaced by the world of soft curves and moon shadows.
As you drift deeper, the boundary between you and the garden begins to dissolve. You are the moonflower, opening your heart to the dark. You are the primrose, glowing in the grass. You are the cactus, saving your beauty for the secret moment. You are part of the night, part of the earth, part of the great, slow, beautiful cycle of light and dark. The moon is high overhead now, a perfect white circle watching over the garden, bathing everything in its healing silver light, the light of intuition, the light of dreams. Let that light wash over you, cleansing your mind, soothing your spirit, preparing you for the deep, restorative journey of sleep. The garden has woken up so that you can sleep. The watch has been taken over, the sentinels are blooming, the air is sweet, and all is well. Drift now, float on the scent of the night, sink into the velvet darkness, deep, deep, peaceful sleep.
We have walked the long path of history tonight. We have traveled from the mist of the primordial ferns to the silence of the Ice Age, from the depths of the root systems to the heights of the Redwoods. And now the journey outward comes to an end. The traveling is finished, the exploring is done, and it is time to return, to come back to the center, to the stillness, to the very source of life itself. For the final chapter of our story is not about looking at plants, it is about becoming them. It is about dissolving the boundary between you and the earth, about realizing that you are not separate from the green world. You are made of the same carbon, the same water, the same stardust. And tonight, to find the deepest rest you have ever known, you will undergo a gentle transformation. You will plant yourself in the bed of the night and become a tree, the ultimate symbol of peace and endurance. Lie very still now. Let your body sink into the mattress, feeling the full weight of your limbs, the heaviness of your bones, and bring your attention to your feet. Imagine that the soles of your feet are opening up, softening, and from them imaginary roots begin to extend, thick, strong roots of white light and energy, pushing down through the sheets, down through the floor, down through the foundation of the building, moving easily through concrete and wood until they reach the cool, dark soil beneath. Feel the sensation of connecting with the earth, a magnetic pull that anchors you. These roots go deep, 10 feet, 20 feet, 50 feet down, spreading out into the rich, damp earth, finding the water table, finding the bedrock, gripping the planet with a strength that can withstand any storm. You are no longer a floating entity. You are grounded. You are locked in place by the gravity of the earth. And through these roots, you can feel the slow, steady pulse of the planet, a rhythm that is slower than a heartbeat, slower than the tides, the deep geological hum of existence. Draw that stability up into your body. Pull the strength of the stone and the soil up through your legs, making them feel heavy, making them feel solid, turning bone and muscle into wood and root. Now let that sensation rise, moving up through your calves, your knees, your thighs, transforming you as it goes. Your legs are fusing together in your mind's eye, becoming a single massive trunk, wide and sturdy, covered in thick, protective bark. This bark is your shield.
It protects you from the wind, from the cold, from the noise. Inside the trunk, your blood begins to slow down, thickening, cooling, turning into golden amber sap, a slow-moving liquid that carries nutrients to every cell, without rushing, without pumping, just a gentle hydraulic rise and fall. Feel your spine straightening, lengthening, becoming the core of the tree, the heartwood, the strongest part of you that has stood for centuries. You are immense, you are ancient, you are unshakable. The worries of the human world cannot penetrate this wood. They simply bounce off the bark like dry leaves, leaving you safe and untouched inside. Let the transformation rise into your chest, expanding your rib cage, making room for the deepest breath you have ever taken. Your lungs are now the lungs of the forest, breathing in the night air, filtering it, purifying it.
Exchanging life with the atmosphere. Feel your arms resting by your sides, heavy and relaxed, and imagine them becoming great, sweeping branches, extending out from the trunk, covered in leaves that rustle softly in the wind. Your fingers are the twigs, sensitive and fine, feeling the cool touch of the night air. But they do not need to grasp anything. They do not need to hold on to anything. They simply hang there, relaxed and open, allowing the wind to move through them. You are a part of the landscape now, a silent sentinel standing in a vast moonlit meadow, surrounded by other trees, surrounded by the family of the forest. You belong here, rooted in this soil, under this sky, held by this earth. Focus on your head now, the crown of the tree, lifting up toward the stars. Your thoughts are no longer racing human thoughts. They are the slow, green thoughts of a tree. Thoughts of rain, thoughts of sunlight, thoughts of seasons passing. The chaotic chatter of the mind is replaced by the sound of the wind moving through your leaves, a soft, rhythmic shushing sound. Sweeping away the dust of the day, sweeping away the stress, leaving only the clear, clean space of the canopy. You are connected to the sky above and the earth below, a bridge between the heavens and the soil. And in this state, there is nothing to do. A tree does not work. A tree does not try. A tree simply is. It stands in its dignity. It stands in its peace, accepting the rain, accepting the sun, accepting the night. Total acceptance, total surrender to the moment. This is the eternal return, the returning to the elements from which you came. Feel the moss growing softly on your bark, cool and velvet green. Feel the dew settling on your leaves, hydrating you, washing you. Feel the small birds nesting in your branches, safe and warm, knowing that you are strong enough to hold them. You are a source of shelter, a source of stability, not just for yourself, but for the whole world. The earth is holding you, cradling your roots in its dark embrace, and you are holding the earth, binding the soil together with your strength. It is a perfect partnership, a perfect circle of support. As you stand there in your visualization, the seasons begin to pass in the blink of an eye. You feel the warmth of the summer sun on your leaves, turning the light into sugar, feeding your soul. You feel the crisp air of the autumn, the time of letting go, and you release your leaves, letting them drift down to the ground, letting go of everything you don't need, stripping yourself down to the bare, beautiful essentials.
You feel the silence of the winter, the snow piling up on your branches, insulating you, quieting the world, sending you into a deep, dormant sleep where time has no meaning.
And you feel the surge of the spring, the rising of the sap, the promise of new life. But tonight, it is the winter of the soul, the time of rest, the time to stand still and sleep. Your breathing is the wind is your breathing. There is no separation anymore. The air flows into you and out of you, merging you with the atmosphere. You are the planet breathing, in and out, slow and deep. The oxygen you create is the peace you feel. Every exhale releases a little more of your human form. Every inhale draws in a little more of the tree form, until there is no human left, only the wood, only the root, only the silence. You are vast, you are heavy, you are planted, nothing can move you. The storm may rage, the wind may howl, but you are rooted in the bedrock of history. You have seen it all, you have survived it all, and tonight you rest. Feel the darkness of the soil around your roots, a comforting, heavy darkness that feels like a thick blanket. It is the most secure feeling in the world, to be held so tightly, to be anchored so firmly. You can stop holding yourself up. You can stop holding your muscles tight. Let the earth take your weight. Let the gravity pull you down, 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 deeper into the soil, deeper into the dark, sinking into the cool, damp earth, becoming one with the mycelium, becoming one with the stones, becoming one with the ancient waters that flow beneath the crust. You are returning to the source, returning to the garden, returning to the seed. The world above is fading away. The lights are gone. The sounds are gone. There is only the feeling of the wood and the feeling of the earth. You are a giant redwood in the mist. You are a willow by the river. You are a pine on the mountain. You are all of them, and you are none of them. You are simply the spirit of life at rest, ancient and eternal. The sap is still, the leaves are still, the roots are still. The whole world has stopped turning just for you, so that you can sleep, so that you can recover your strength. Deep in the heart of the tree, there is a silence that has existed for millions of years, a silence that was here before humans, a silence that will be here after, and you are entering that silence now, slipping into the hollow of the tree, curling up in the warm, dry wood, protected from everything. Sleep now, mighty tree. Sleep now, child of the earth. Your roots are deep, your trunk is strong, your branches are safe. The night is your friend, the darkness is your blanket, the stars are your companions. Drift away on the wind, drift away on the sap, sink down into the roots, down, 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 into the deep, dreamless, eternal sleep of the forest. You are one with the earth. You are peace. You are stillness. You are sleep.